What's up, friends? So I thought maybe I'll go over two books instead of reviewing one book and give you my insight on the ratings of the books and which one of these two books I prefer. These books have nothing to do with each other. Sometimes they're not in the same genre. One might be fantasy, one might be mystery, whatever. I'm just going to give you books that I read because I haven't really read too many books until recently. And I was watching movies and shows and I was like, they're not as captivating as a good story. So my main goal is to find a really, really good story. If the writing is good and captivates me, cool. If it's not, but the story is good, I'll forgive it. But if the story is bad or the ending sucks, I'm probably not going to like the book. So you know where I'm coming from. So let's go over the first two books. First two books are The Martyr and The Emperor of Gladness, which I finished more recently. I thought both books were interesting because they both have to do with the mother of the protagonist, the mother of the male character, and how the mother is missing and the character is trying to find his mother or trying to relate to the mother or trying to make the mom proud some way or another. And they both deal with addiction issues. And I don't want to get into spoilers because I know some people maybe haven't read it or you want to read it. But the books are basically kind of depressing and they go through this depressing journey for them to for the Martyr. At least there's somewhat of an ending in there, and I think it's a weaker ending. It's an ending where if you're trying to come up with a twist, you'll be like, hey, this would be a funny twist if we did it, but we're not going to do it. And he actually does the twist. So the ending I wasn't really happy about, but at least there was an ending, there was closure going on. In The Emperor of Gladness, I feel like it's a depressive journey, depressive path with no real ending. It's kind of just like, all right, this happened and we're still sad. Let's keep it going. And I'm not a big fan of those books. So if I were to recommend one, I'd say I'd recommend The Martyr over The Emperor of Gladness. But I'd say the Martyr and the Emperor of Gladness, both of them, I'd rate them a 7 out of 10. So 7 is, it might be worth reading for you. If you have nothing else to read, check them out. But if you're an avid reader and you have a whole bunch of books, I have a whole bunch of books I haven't finished yet, I wouldn't recommend to myself to read these. I would still possibly check out their other books if they've written other books. I know Kaveh Akbar hasn't written other books as of right now, but Vuong has. So if Ocean's other books, at least like on Amazon, Goodreads, those places, are rated higher than this book, I would check them out. If not, then I probably wouldn't. The writings, I think, the writing's good. The writing, it gets you into the protagonist's head. It gets you invested, involved. You want to know what's going to happen next. I think The Emperor of Gladness has characters in there they have weird names. Now, I have a weird name. My name is Arash. I'd say the protagonist's name, Hai, is kind of a weird name. But it doesn't take me out like some of the other ones. Like there is a Russia, there is a BJ who's a female, there is Sony or Sunny, spelled Sony. These characters, every time I saw their name, it kind of just took me out of the story. I'm like, why are they named this? Or did the author really have to name this? They couldn't just go with something a little bit either more traditional or at least cultural. It doesn't have to be, maybe Sunny or Sony is Vietnamese because Hai is Vietnamese and he goes into that. But it still took me out of the story. I don't mind the weird name, but there's things that take me out of the story. Sometimes it feels like these authors, both of them, were trying too hard to be either poetic or to be able to get some kind of thing across with their writing that you're like, dude, just get to a point. Get me to some kind of ending or get me to somewhere in the chapter where something good happens. Now, there are instances where there's, small victories and you're like, oh, cool, that happened. Let's see if the bigger parts of the story are won or the bigger parts of the story, something good happens. And unfortunately, there's twists, at least with Martyr, but not something where you're like, oh, wow, that's a great twist. Oh, wow, his journey ended this way. It's more like, oh, really? Did they do that? I know I've said it a few times. So if you want to check him out, check him out. The Martyr is a shorter read. I think it's only at about 326 pages. The Emperor of Gladness is at about same. I think it's at just under 400 pages. Easy reads. I don't think they're entirely difficult. Maybe since I didn't get it, you think they might be difficult for me. But I picked this up, Kaveh Akbar's book, just because I'm Iranian, he's Iranian. I thought, hey, might relate to it. There are certain things in there that are historical accuracies that are relatable, that I'm like, yeah, I remember reading about that. I remember that happening. That's real. With the Ocean Vuong, I have Vietnamese friends. I live close to a Vietnamese community. So again, I related to some things culturally. So it's not like the cultural parts took me away or anything, or the historical parts didn't take me away. It's just that the writing is too depressive. It's not a story that goes up and down, up and down. In my other videos, I'm gonna talk about other stories that have really, really depressing parts. In one or two of them, I even like shed tears and I cried. But at least it takes you back up. At least you throw a fist up when they do something great and you celebrate with them and you jump out of your chair and you're like, yes, finally. There's excitement. It's not just a cruise control on dun, dun, sad, sad, sad. Oh no, sad, sad. Oh, nothing good happens to these guys. Because that almost sounds a little bit fake. And it makes me not want to be involved in their stories or some of the other characters because they contribute to that. They're also sad, sad, sad. At least that's my take on it. All right. Thanks for watching. If you want some other ones, I'm going to go into other books in other videos. I'm trying to do 1 versus 1 so you can see, but both of these books are rated 7s. So if you want to check them out, these are 7s. Thanks for watching.